I suppose you're all wondering why I called you here. We have something that's broken. We have a major broken thing going on, and we all need to address it. What was that thing? $100,000 Bitcoin. That's what it was. That's what got broken. Guys, welcome to the morning market report. We're over $100,000 on Bitcoin right now, and we're still got green going on in the markets. We are seeing some slight consolidation. No big pullbacks. We'll pull that up here, and you'll see right here behind me. Little consolidation right there. We got a little doji candle going on. Nothing to worry about, but there are some levels that I'm watching, guys. If we go down here and we take a look at the heat map here, just jump over, you'll see right there, we got a level above us at about 104,000, but we do have a little level coming in right there behind my mic stand. That's coming in at about $94,000. So hence the poll today. Do we go to 94,000 and retest that range that we had all of that support in, or is $100,000 our new bottom? Yeah, what the thumbnail. Hey, I Gotta do the O face on $100,000 day. I figured I would just get it out there before everyone else today on the O face thumbnail front. So, guys, but we're going to be looking at this. We're going to talk about some economic data that came in today. We've got some very important economic data coming in tomorrow, and we are seeing a little bit of a slight market pullback today. Let's go up here and take a look. Get back in there, refresh for me. There you go. You guys can see right there behind my head, we do have the Dow Jones and the S&P both opening in the red right now, but not much, man. They're almost neutral, guys. I think we're going to have a decent little day. There is a chance of a pullback today, though, with this economic data coming out tomorrow. We'll talk about why. But yeah, let's do it. Class is in session. Let's go, guys. Good morning and welcome to the Piper Academy Network. This is the morning market report. We come at you every day at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, bringing you guys economic data, charts, technical analysis, things that you need to have knowledge, because knowledge is profit here at the Academy. If you guys missed it last night, Crypto Nightcap breaking a lot of live viewers. They were live when we broke $100,000. They didn't even put it on their thumbnail. I actually had to go in. I'm going to bring this up and show you. I actually had to put this on my X post because I felt like they were missing this opportunity. Let me bring this in here and show you this. OC, welcome over there. I see you, OC. Look here, guys. They said Crypto Nightcap, Bitcoin at critical levels. I said, is Bitcoin about to break $100,000? Watch live now, because I saw it on the charts. It was clear as day. But hey, OC, what's up, my dog? $100,000 Bitcoin. How you feeling, man?
Oh man, I'm feeling fantastic. I mean, you also can see right here in the news, incoming President Donald Trump celebrates Bitcoin historic price surge over Truth Social.
Yeah, we need the boom shot
with everybody in the news there. But other than that, I'm pretty happy. I really love the oh man, the miniature on the YouTube video with the open mouth. But what I'm really wondering, it is, when are we having the financial advising beanie coming up?
Oh, I'm going to have to wear that at some point. Yeah, I may have to put that on for you guys. Let me see. Is it down here? I don't know where it's at. I'll have to get the red financial beanie and wear that. But yeah, guys, shout out to everybody that was watching that live stream last night. Shout out to everyone that's just joining us. But you know, I'm a little disappointed. I gave permission to the Crypto Nightcap to do a pump party. I gave permission to Markets After Dark to do a pump party. Obviously, BC Port Corp wasn't able to get live. He's live when I'm still waking up and, you know, getting out of bed. So I wasn't able to tell him. But nobody's done a pump party yet. So I'm sure maybe Alex O did this morning. I haven't checked. He probably did do one. But let's do a pump party. Let's demonetize this video and let's do a pump party, OC, because that's how we roll here on the morning market report. Guys, 103,000. We actually touched $104,000 Bitcoin. If you guys are very excited about where we are heading with Bitcoin, because I don't think this is it. We've got a lot more to go. Guys, drop some ones and hearts in the chat. If you're a member, drop some Bitcoin in the chat. We're demonetizing today's video. I don't care. Why? Because we made enough money yesterday. It's all good. Let's go, people. Bitcoin party. Bitcoin parties. By the way, we broke 6,400 subscribers now too. We're on our way to 6,500. Next thing you know, it's going to be 7,000 subscribers. No stream, Alex O said. Alex O Crypto, you should have came on with us about 100K party, bro. Oh, good Lord. Guys, let's talk about the important things. We're going to do some TA today, guys, I promise. But I got to tell you, Rob, Digital Asset News. I've done several shows with them before. FD White's done shows with them. He was recently on Billy Goat Tales. I think he put out one of the best posts that I've seen in a long time here, guys. If you guys do not know, he has this amazing poll that he always tells people. This is a dynamic green screen is what he tells everyone. Okay. He lives here in El Paso, if you guys don't know, but he's been saying since before the last bull run. So like 5 years ago, when we break $100,000 Bitcoin, I'll jump in that pool. He did not get to jump in that pool last cycle. He posted this video last night or this morning. Guys, let's go ahead and check it out. Let's listen in on this. Shout out to Digital Asset News. He is the best. Five years he's waited to do this, OC. 5 years. It's insane.
Oh, man.
Of course, he jumps in a pool, but he's got some words of wisdom after this, and I want you guys to hear what he has to say. Let's just go forward here. He's going to get out of the pool. If you guys don't know, Rob is a combat veteran. He's a military veteran. He's a former combat medic. So good veteran friend of mine and a good crypto friend. So wanted to share his words of wisdom. You guys, check this out.
$100K Bitcoin. Congratulations, everybody. This has been a long time coming. If you watch the channel for any length of time, you know that we've been promising this for 5+ years. So today is the day, 100K Bitcoin. I want you to remember something. It's that in 10 years, everybody's going to look back at this and going to say, look how lucky those guys were. Look how easy it was. It wasn't easy. You did the hard job. You bought during the bear. You held on because everybody else was telling you to get out. And you're just like, you know what? I'm going to keep throwing sand in the ocean. Today is the day that you take the big win. So it's not on you. It's you for actually got into it, for sticking with it, for being tenacious, and actually just not listening to everybody and going, you know what? I know where the future holds. So congratulations, everybody. Good job. Bitcoin 100K.
There you go, guys. So words of wisdom there from Digital Asset News. That's Rob over there. Rob is the dude. I love that guy to death, man. And him and I, we like to go to the wing shack and eat some wings and have a beer together every now and then. So it's how Crux and I also met, if you guys don't know. Let's talk about some of the things he was just saying there, because he was talking about the, you know, if you didn't listen to all the bad news and all of this and that, like, guys, check this out. This is an article. Let's jump over here and take a look at this article, because this was an interesting article put out this morning. Bitcoin at 100K, and this is how the media's perception has shifted since 2009. Because I don't know if you guys were looking anywhere on the mainstream media today. Wall Street Journal, Bloomberg, CNBC Pro, everyone is talking about Bitcoin. I just heard Jim Cramer talking about how powerful Bitcoin is and blah, 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 blah. Yes, I know he's probably going to wreck everything and crash the market, but he was just talking about that and was talking on CNBC. So like it's the topic of discussion today is Bitcoin, guys. Funny enough, yesterday, Jerome Powell said Bitcoin is the new digital gold. It's not a competitor of the dollar. It's a competitor of gold. So it's mainstream conversation at this point. Let's take a look at some of these headlines, though, over the years. Pretty interesting here. Let's go down to the first one. Bitcoin reached 100,000, about 104,000 actually, after almost 16 years ago when it launched in 2009. But the road has not been easy for Bitcoin people. It caught the attention of likes of Forbes, New York Times, Washington Post, Bloomberg, CNN, publishing mostly negative stories, which has without a doubt significantly influenced society's perception of Bitcoin today. The ratio of positive Bitcoin stories has, however, increased as Bitcoin has soared to new highs and became more institutionalized in the early 2020s, according to Bitcoin perception data shared with Cointelegraph. So here's 2011. This is Forbes. So that's the end of Bitcoin then. Forbes prematurely called the end of Bitcoin when its price fell from $17 to pennies in a matter of minutes in June of 2011. The price collapse was triggered by one trader attempting to sell more Bitcoin than the cryptocurrency exchange Mt. Gox could absorb. So that's the end of Bitcoin then. That was the article. There's what they said. Former opinion writer Tim Worstall made that call. Back in 2013, CNN, Satoshi Nakamoto's anonymity is a huge red flag. Many critics couldn't fathom the idea that Bitcoin could secure with an off-the-radar pseudonymous creator. And I certainly would not trust my life savings to some mysterious computer algorithm created by shadowy anonymous characters in a system that attracts the underworld types. It's like this was written by Elizabeth Warren. I love it. So there you go. There's one there. Bitcoin may be legitimate after all. This is in 2013, Bloomberg. It may be legitimate. Hey, guys, don't know if you know this. Billy Goat tells. Crypto Billy, you may not know this, but Bitcoin may be legitimate after all. There were times, albeit rare, when Bitcoin was seen in a better light, when it soared from $12 to about $900 in 2013. That's a massive pump. One of those experts was Nick Colas, the founder of DataTrack Research, who championed Bitcoin's security and predictability of monetary supply and the ability to transact across borders back in the interview there. Satoshi is like a reckless doctor overprescribing drugs. This was the Financial Times in 2014. It ignores the ebbs and flows of economic cycles, a reckless approach that is the equivalent of a doctor giving penicillin to every patient without checking whether they're suffering from an infection, depression, or mania. I am suffering from a mania. It's called I Love Bitcoin. So there you go. Opinion Financial Times, a dangerous mistake lies at Bitcoin's intellectual core, talking about the software behind that remarkable technical achievement. But those who tout such systems as a way of saving capitalism are profoundly wrong. Bitcoin, when price then was $672. Bitcoin is an energy glutton. You guys remember that? When everything was about how much energy Bitcoin uses and it's so damaging to the environment, that conversation pretty much non-existent nowadays. So there's that one. Let's see, what else we got here? Why is my ticker so small down there? That's what she said. Anyway. All right. Well, let me fix that for you there, OC. Let me get that back in there. There we go. Bitcoin is an energy glutton that can harm Earth's climate. You guys remember that one? Bitcoin is too cumbersome. It's slow. It's expensive to use. Yeah, nobody plans on using Bitcoin. Everyone talks about what it's for, right? I know the original white paper usage of what Bitcoin was for. Let's be honest. No one is going to spend Bitcoin for regular transactions as a generalized population movement. Why? Because it's taxed every time you turn around on everything you do with it. Why am I going to spend Bitcoin that's got a high probability of going up in value to buy something right now that's probably going to go down in value and pay tax on top of it? It makes no sense. It's digital gold, which is what Jerome Powell said yesterday when he was talking to the people on that interview. He said it's not a competitor of the dollar. It's not a currency. It's a crypto asset. And that is the point of Bitcoin. It is to hold your value and not be affected by inflation. That's the big thing about it. Bitcoin is too cumbersome. Mainstream media pointing to the network congestion and high fees. Obviously, you've never done anything on Ethereum if you think Bitcoin's got high fees. The brutal truth about Bitcoin in 2021. This was the Prasad further claimed Bitcoin might exacerbate an inequality rather than democratize finance, as sophisticated, financially literate investors would reap benefits early on, while the less well-off take on risk they don't fully comprehend. And I think we do actually see some things like that, where you get a lot of people that just buy into Bitcoin, but someone who's got just a little bit of money to invest may not go in and go, you know what, I want Bitcoin too, let me buy it. And they go for that quick where they can play catch up with the guy who had a lot more money to put into Bitcoin. So they go into some risky stuff like, Hawk token, which dumped 90% on its launch yesterday. So this might have some truth to it. Bitcoin ETFs approved, but think before jumping on the bandwagon, according to CNN, as ETFs have just ripped in consumption of Bitcoin purchases. So following the approval of the Bitcoin ETF, CNN cautioned their investors, think twice before buying Bitcoin. That was January. What was the price in January, OC? Can you look on your chart? What was the price in January of Bitcoin this year? When they said, hey, watch it. Oh, it's $46,000. There you go. It's right there, OC. It's $46,368. That was the price of Bitcoin when they said, be careful. The economists also claimed that Bitcoin ETFs were off to a bad start 3 weeks later, even though it has outperformed every single ETF launch in history. It was off to a bad start. Bitcoin will hit $1 million, but at what cost? The remarks were made around the time when BlackRock's iShare Bitcoin Trust was recording more inflows than 99.8% of all ETFs in the United States, far exceeding industry expectations. Fast forward 10 months, inflows into the Bitcoin ETFs, including GBTC, are $47 billion, contributing significantly to that meteoric price from $46,000 to $100,000. So long as Bitcoin is the noisy price story, it won't ever be money. You're right. It's not going to be money. It is a asset. It is a hedge against inflation. It is a monetary income protector. What did I do when we had the markets pulling back from March top all the way down where alts were just bleeding off? I took a lot of my alts and put them all into Bitcoin. Why? Because I was protecting what I had already made gains on. It's not money. You're right, Forbes. Congratulations. You were right and didn't even know it. If you agree with the present narrative that Bitcoin surge is of the early days variety, then you're by definition accepting what's similarly true, that Bitcoin will never be money. Spot on. Spot on, dude. But yeah, just to give you guys some examples there, those are some of the headlines that we see over the years. This morning, the headlines just all up on some Bitcoin. Let me tell you, it's like it was the Bitcoin was the nerdy kid, skinny, glasses, not good at sports, not very popular, not very cool, just hung out with his own little circle of people in high school. And now he's the 6'4", ripped cut, great head of hair, multi-billionaire tech guru. And now everybody wants to be friends with him. And that's what we're seeing in the news. So guys, drop a 1 in the chat. Drop a 1 in the chat if you think that is what Bitcoin is. Is Bitcoin the high school nerd that no one talked to and no one liked, that now everybody wants to be on his yacht? Crypto Billy said, clip it. That would be Crypto Trades. He does all that for me. So Crypto Trades, if you got that, that would be awesome. Let's go ahead and jump into what the news is today, OC. And then we're going to come and take a look at Bitcoin today. We might run a little bit late today. I don't care. It's okay. I had my coffee today. As long as I have my coffee, I'm all good. So let's jump into the news and let's talk about this Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index. Let me bring this over a little bit. There we go. And let's bring this down to take a look at that, guys. Bitcoin Fear and Greed sitting in extreme greed. I told you we can ride this for a long time. By the way, while we're in December making all this money, guys, today's news is brought to you by Decrypted.tax. If you guys have not made your tax plans or said, hey, what do I need to do before December 31st happens and we go at the end of the tax year is here, you guys may want to call Ernest. The link is down below. You'll get a free consultation. If you do use the services, 25% off. The consultation is absolutely free. You guys need to call over there. Eli, Lincoln, Ernest, any of them, the great team. They will take care of you and tell you, hey, you might want to, sell a little bit here or not sell here. Wait till January 1st. Whatever your situation may be, they can guide you. They are accountants and tax attorneys that specialize in crypto. So go check them out, guys. Fear and Greed, though, today, 84 right now in extreme green. Let's jump over, check out this. Let's give it a refresh because I'm pretty sure this may have changed a little bit yet. $3.8 trillion, guys. If you don't know, Bitcoin is up to $1.9 trillion in valuation right now. It just itself. So market cap on this, $3.8 trillion on the total market cap. It is up. Volume is up. Everyone's kind of just flowing into Bitcoin right now. Taking a look here on the daily right now. We do have some things up. Jasmy's up 20%. What I tell you? What did I tell you guys? I just talked about this yesterday, talking about, hey, you might want to watch these tokens that are very far off from the all-time high. When things start to move, people look at the charts and they go, what's got a long way to go back up? Jasmy at the very bottom of that list in the top 100, up 20%. You got that yesterday right here on the show, guys. Let's go. Let's go down and take a look at the prices here. Bitcoin, wow, this is beautiful. Bitcoin sitting currently at $103,400, up 7.5% on the daily. Ethereum up 4.6, just under $4,000 right now, guys. Let's see here. XRP down 8.8%. Some of the alts got some major pullbacks, guys, but don't worry. They had 63% moves for the week. It's okay. XRP losing one position. Tether retaking that number 3 spot. Solana sitting up 3.5% there at $240. BNB losing that position to Solana. Solana making a small little comeback there. Dogecoin up 9.2% at 45 cents. ADA holding its own. It's staying up 1%, not going the opposite direction. That's good. Tron is sitting right now up down 7.9% after a massive rally. Remember, they were the one yesterday. I said 103% move to the upside in 24 hours. They got a 7.9% pullback. It's okay. Avalanche down 4%. Shiba Inu retaken back to the number 12 position there, 5.7%. Toncoin dropping one spot to number 13, down 1.8. Let's see here. Any other big movers? Swee's making a comeback, up 17.9%, moving 2 positions to number 17. H-bar dropping down after losing a 1%, less than 1% move to the downside after a 114% move to the upside. H-bar sitting at number 19 and wrapping it out at the number 20 spot. It is Litecoin up 8.6% at $139, we'll call it. Near Protocol making a comeback, though. Let's look at these, the ones that are moving in. Near Protocol is up 1%, one position to number 21, up 5% there. Any crazy movers in here? I'm talking just crazy. Let's see. Let's go back. Let's go back to the top. Let's go back here and let's look at the daily. There we go. Looks like the biggest mover we had would be Jasmy. There you go. Jasmy was the biggest mover. Cool. Let's jump in here. Let's take a look at this liquidation chart, guys, because I was talking about this earlier. And so let's look here. You can see we got a nice hot spot sitting right there above the price currently right now. That hot spot coming in at about $104,000. Yeah, I got to bring it back down. There it goes. $104,500 is where that spot is. But you can see down here at about the 94,000 spot, there is another wall that we're starting to create down there. That's about 94,000. So 94,000, 105,000. We'll take a look at those 2 levels there. And take a look at that. Hell yeah, near 95.5. Alex O said render. Take a look at render. We'll have to take a look at render. Didn't render have a big pullback though, or was it a pump? I think it was a pullback. Yeah, I'm sure there's ones with bigger moves than that, guys. That was just the top 100 on the crypto bubbles. So just so you know. But we were talking about the $94,000 level for a week. That's where the anchored VWAP is. So we'll take a look at all that here in a bit too. Let's see. The market's starting to turn around. It looks like the NASDAQ is in the green right now. Oh, nope, it's in the red. So all of these, the Dow Jones, the S&P, the NASDAQ, guys, they're all sitting at like 0.03, 0.02, 0.01. The only one that's down any type of percentage, that's a quarter of a whole percent, is the Russell 2K. VIX is unchanged. Right now, it's just kind of holding its breath. That's what we're seeing on the markets. Not really selling off, not really pumping, just holding its breath for tomorrow's economic data. What is that economic data? Well, let's talk about it. Click that OK. There we go. So this morning we had the balance of trade come in. It was down $73.8 billion between imports and exports. But the one that we were really watching here was this initial jobless claims was supposed to be around 215,000, 214,000 from its previous 213,000 filing for unemployment claims this week. It actually came in a little higher, 224,000. I actually have a theory on that, though, and I'm going to talk about that in a second. Those initial jobless claims rose to 224,000 for the week ending November 30th from the 213,000 the previous week. It says right here, where is it? Federal Reserve in the last quarter is adding leeway for the central bank to slow the pace of monetary loosening should inflation remain stubbornly high. Meanwhile, the 4-week moving average, which reduces week-to-week volatility, rose by 750 more on the average. So the average went up of how many people are filing for unemployment too. Looks like California, Texas, obviously, these are, big population densities, and that's why we're getting that. But here's my theory on this. I think a lot of people get themselves fired or get themselves out of jobs that they can file unemployment on this time of year on purpose. I think a lot of people do that. If they're not career-based and they're not trying to build on, I think they go, you know what, if I get fired, I can file unemployment on them, and then I can collect that over the holidays, and then I don't have to be at work during the holidays. I can leave and just collect a check. And I do believe that's a thing. I know some people that have done that, and that might be a little reason why we see this little spike in numbers in December. Let me know. Let me know in the chat if you guys have ever had a friend. Put a one in the chat if you know anyone who has purposely gotten fired so they could collect unemployment during the holidays and not have to work during the holidays. So, Buck said it, to have the holidays off. So there you go, with pay. Tomorrow, though, guys, the thing that we're seeing is I'm filing unemployment right now. Can't move dirt when the ground is frozen. There you go, BC. There's another reason, too. Seasonal workers that can't do their job when you have weather conditions. He digs trenches and moves trees and does all kinds of ground maintenance. He's a ground construction dude. So yeah, he can't dig in frozen ground. Non-farm payrolls coming in tomorrow morning, guys. This is why I said the markets are holding their breath. Right now, non-farm payrolls, previous 12,000. They're actually looking at to be consensus forecast and consensus to be 200,000 plus. They added the last time it was a downwardly revised majorly 223,000 jobs revised out and it left it at 12,000 there. So it was the lowest job growth since December 2020. That was last month. It looks like we're going to have a massive jump in jobs tomorrow, especially when you had the revision that left that, right? So everyone's kind of holding their breath. This could be very bullish for the markets, right? But flip side of that, you have the unemployment rate, and we do have 4.1% right now. We have a projection of 4.2% unemployment. That would be a higher unemployment rate. Not good when you're talking about the Federal Reserve's intentions. Remember, they've got two enemies: weakening job market, weakening labor force, and inflation increase. So if when one does one thing, they have to. It's a balance game, man. And so with them having this coming in, they may have to react to what's going on here. Hey guys, we got to cut rates, but when we cut the rates too quick, we increase inflation. So a lot of people holding their breath, and I think that's what you're seeing on the market right now. That's why it's pretty much stagnant and neutral. Bitcoin, though, is moving up. It is at 103,600. We're going to look at that chart in just a minute. And then, of course, tomorrow we do have hourly earnings, stuff like that. But so tomorrow, some pretty big data. You can see 3 major events on here that are red. These means they're like impact one, right? These are the big ones: non-farm payroll, unemployment rate, and the Michigan consumer sentiment. Michigan consumer sentiment projected to be higher, guys. This means that people feel better about the economy right now than what they did in previous months. So I don't know. We'll see how that plays out. Looking at the CME, remember December 18th, we do have another FOMC meeting and rate decision. As of right now, 73.8% chance that they continue to cut rates by 25 basis points. So this was said yesterday by Bernstein. This was not related at all to what Jerome Powell said: Bitcoin to replace gold over the next decade. Interestingly enough, here comes Fred Powell Chappelle saying Bitcoin is a competitor to gold, not the US dollar. And we were just talking about that, so I'm not going to beat that horse. It's fine. But yeah, guys, Bitcoin, not meant to be a competitor of the US dollar, meant to be a competitor for gold. And if we're going to talk about being a competitor for gold, then you got to reiterate what OC and I were talking about last week when we were talking about gold, the trillions of dollars in gold that is sitting there. And if we can get those trillions of dollars over into Bitcoin and people start to see what Jerome Powell is starting to see, that is a whole lot more money coming into Bitcoin at this level that we're at. So, OC, I have been rambling on with the news. What have I missed in the chat? And thoughts on any of this stuff? But tell me what's going on in the chat, man, because I'm way behind on this. So.
Oh, I mean, we're just kind of talking around. Like I was telling BC Port Corp, like if you cannot move dirt out of the ground, it's because you have not yet used enough TNT, right? So everything can be fixed with duct tape and TNT. If you can't, because you have not yet used enough of it. So there we go. Other than that, I mean, it's just being over seasonal stuff. But yeah, I mean, I think everybody's just kind of happy already, feeling that holiday. Also, I don't remember who was mentioning that at this point of the year, on job sites, they just closed the shop because, I mean, as a taxpayer, you really don't want to be spending that money on taxes when you could be spending it elsewhere, right? And also workers, still they already have put down the hard work throughout the whole year, and now it's kind of like like that chilly feeling that you start getting at the end of the year where everything is relaxing on your body, right? But yeah, I mean, yep, that was it.
You mean what? Oh, okay. Awkward pause, crickets in the house. All right, let's go ahead and jump over. Let's check out Bitcoin here, guys. We're gonna look at the master chart because this is the chart that I want to take a look at first, and I'll show you why. We had this area here that we were in this channel in between the golden pocket and the platinum pocket throughout this entire cycle, from going all the way back to August of 2022 when we lost the golden pocket. For those who have never seen this, this is a fib channel placed on Bitcoin throughout its entire history, and every cycle was sitting here, golden pocket bottom of the bear cycle. This was the bottom for that cycle. Well, actually it was here, but that we tested that golden pocket here. Big drop down, COVID-19. This cycle here was the first time that we had, like, inflation going on, economy weakening, things like that, contraction. And we did lose that. We tried to hold it for about 2 months in that golden pocket. We lost it. And then the 786. And I've said for a long time, we're not going to break the 786. We're not going to break the 786. Every time we were running sideways here, it's going to go up. That's what I said at that point. It's what I said at this point. And even recently here on the show, I had talked about, guys, I reiterated this conversations that we had on Debate Crypto and all kinds of other places. And I said, we've only got a very short time here. If we're going to keep running sideways, we've only got a very short time before we have to take off because, again, the 786, we should not ever break the 786. If we do, we've got bigger problems. And that was back, September, October time period here. I said, even if we drop down, looking at this value area low, you're talking about a 56,000, and that was where we hit there. Got back in on most of my stuff at about 53,000 after this pullback that we had. And then as it was running in, it was running up. What am I seeing now on the charts, guys, that's making me pay attention? That's what it's making me do. I won't say it's making me nervous. I won't say that it's, giving me cause for concern, but I am watching closely on a re-entry to the golden pocket here, which currently on this week, if it was this week, it would be about 106,000. If it was next week, it'd be about 108. So the longer we go, the more we can get into here and get a pullback. But I think that we could get an initial pullback off this range and then come back into support, which one of the things I'm watching is that about 94,000 or 100,000, depending on how high we go. Looking here at this chart, though, guys, we are continuing to do, this is what I was talking about on this chart here. Once we break the 1-to-1 line, yeah, we've had some where there's little pullbacks, but for the most part, it is a straight up line running from, here's a retest of it here. It broke. Yep, straight up about midway, retest, pullback and consolidation. Go down here. This one, from the 1-to-1 line, pretty much straight up, and then did its retracement there. So let's look at that 50% mark. Let's go look at that 50% mark and see what that would put us at on this current cycle with the break of that 1-to-1, which we have done. Okay. Get up here, that 50% mark there would be about $104,000. So I'm thinking that we get up to that level about 104 to 106. And then we see a little pullback to this level here, which would be somewhere about that $94,000 range. I'll show you on the higher time frame. Before we continue up, we have every cycle we have been able to hit the 1.618 at least. A 1.618 hit on this chart, guys, would be a $168,000 Bitcoin. So I'll take that. Not mad at all. Will not kick that Bitcoin out of bed. I do have my Piper Sniper kit that I am watching closely over here. I've got my 4-hour setups over here, my daily setups over here. As you can see, the 4-hour on all of my selected stuff, Bitcoin Link, MicroStrategies, Caspa, Ethereum, Cardano, XRP, Sui, Solana, and Ondo, all are looking in green target lock, green target holds. That means we're healthy. We're still running there, good to go. On my daily one, we do have Link, Caspa, Ethereum, and Ondo that have gone grayed out on target lock, which means we could see some pullback on those. Matter of fact, Caspa is a dead token according to this on the daily. Do not go into it, is what it's telling me there, based on this red target hold at the bottom. But yeah, on the 4-hour, guys, watching it closely, looking pretty strong here. 3D trend still holding. That anchored VWAP has been holding for us, and it looks like we're about to push the kill box, the dynamic fibs, up to a higher level. Everything looking pretty healthy there. On that, we are currently at about $103,500. That $94,000 range, guys. Two things here. Let's come over here and let's talk about the oscillator first, and then we'll go talk about these levels. So we do have the overbought here. We are starting to clip on the True 7. Typically, when we clip on the True 7, we do see small pullbacks there. There's one right there where it clipped on the upside. It clipped right here. On that True 7 on the upside, had a small pullback there, okay? So when these typically clip, right there even, we had one right there that's True 7 clip. That's that brightness that you see right there on that. We did have that. It clipped right here and then came back down. Small little pullback. Was not anything major. Some of them bigger than others. This one here was a pullback to its bottom of about 8% there. This one here about 1%. So typically do get a pullback, but not always a massive pullback. And so this clipping right now, the way that it's doing, mind you, this can continue to go up and this will just go sideways on the clipping for a longer time period. But if we do get that pullback, there would be one of the first indications. 2, the oscillator ribbon. 3, the overbought. But money flow and volume looking amazingly strong right now. The level that I'm watching first would be $99,500. This is going to be your value area high here. This purple line running right across here. And then right below that, sitting on the daily, you guys can see that purple block right there in that purple line. That is the daily close. So that daily close, it's lining up perfectly with the point of control. And that's at about 98,000. Why do I think 94,000 though could be the lowest that we see on a pullback right now? It's because of all of this level here that we had proven as was resistance here, and then we had days of retest there as support, and that's going to be coming in at 94,600 is what I should say on that. But 104 right now, guys, is the level to watch. There's a high amount of on the heat map coming in right about here, and if we get up to that, I think the higher we go, the less likelihood of 94,000, and it becomes like this 99 to $100,000 level that we should be watching there on Bitcoin for support. So OC, that's what I'm seeing on there. I just broke down all of where we are on the big cycles, where we are on my master charts and stuff, and all my massive major fib setups, and then where we are on the 4-hour. Are you seeing anything different than that on Bitcoin? If you are, then we'll show it. If not, let's go ahead and move into like Ethereum, because I think Ethereum is getting ready to do a massive run also. You see anything different?
Perfect. Not really different. I just want to point out a little bit of what we saw yesterday.
Yeah, let's go over to your chart. Let's go.
Yeah. Perfect. So just a really fast recap. Remember that this is the 500,000 Bitcoin analysis that I was doing. Again, it's not that I think that we're gonna be there like 100%. I take every day as we were, but look at that. This is where the price was yesterday, right? And also, we a quick reminder that yesterday I told you guys to click that like button for the price of Bitcoin to jump up. Also, a quick reminder, we also were looking at this triangle here. So therefore, as you can see, basically we nailed it on that trade. Hopefully you guys did jump in. And right now we are getting to my next resistance zones. Those resistance areas just come from predictive ranges. Let me see if there we go. Let me just adjust them slightly. Here we go, and that is where I'm going to be taking slight profits. I will only be taking 50% out of my initial investment and letting everything rise and move my stop to entry. So far everything playing out smoothly. And other than that, I want to go over TRX now, going to the altcoin part of it, because remember what we were talking about 2 days ago. Oh, yep, you were saying.
Oh,
there we go.
go for it. You're good.
So we saw that God candle breaking through, right? And somewhere around here, I was telling you, hey guys, you know what? It's not time to chase after prices. We need to wait for a retracement. If we go to the 4 hours, we can see that also got retracement of the 4-day charts. But once again, the 4 hour, we are basically seeing what we were wanted to see, right? Once again, I'd rather go with any other coin that has not yet moved. But I know sometimes the FOMO is great there, and you might be telling me, hey, OC, because I already have a couple of DMs. I don't care. I want TRX. All right, well then, if you want TRX, we are almost there. We're almost there. Right, waiting for that flip of the ribbon at support. Remember those lines of support. So what am I going to be looking for? It is a next rejection down to create a trend line, and then finally a breakthrough as we have a confirmed flip of the ribbon. Once again, I rather move into other coins, but this is the TRX follow up as we were expecting. Now turning it back to you, Piper.
Awesome. Yeah. Sorry about that. I thought you were going to talk for a minute, and then I was going to go to the chart when you got done with your setup. But hey, Retro Mike Tech. Wow, that is so big there. Hold on. Sorry. I just did something on my chart for a setup, and it's way too big. So there we go. All right, let's jump back over here. Retro Mike Tech said, but Piper, I thought you said Caspa was better than Bitcoin. Oh no, he didn't say I said that. He said, but Piper, I thought Caspa was a better version of Bitcoin. Let's talk about that for a second. Mike, come here. I don't know what you're talking about. I never said that statement. There was a video about it, and I referenced the video. I sold my Caspa over to Bitcoin when you made me see the light. There you go. I got to put that out there. Retro Mike Tech, always digging on me, man. I love Retro Mike Tech, though. He did give a super chat to the channel and said that he admits that he will give some money to us because I gave him crap because he always supports all the other channels on the show. No, but RMT, I just wanted to mess with you, man. Shout out to you. You are the reason that I got out of my Caspa when I got out of it. So good on you, bro. You said, hey, go look at it. You're reading it wrong. I'm on the backside. I'm on the mining side, and I'm going to tell you it's got issues. And so yeah, I went over and moved it over to Bitcoin. So thank you, Retro Mike Tech, for that. OC, what about Ethereum? Because Ethereum is sitting right now at about $3,900. It is absolutely ripping off from where it hit the green. I'll show you here on the chart, but I want to know your opinion on it. Guys, we had Ethereum come down and touch the very tip with its wick here on the trend chart here on the 3D trend. And on 3 December, it started to rip off. And as Bitcoin has been going up, the levels that I've been telling you to watch was Right here, the golden pocket, the 618. We have now proven this as support. We do have a level at $4,000, $4,025, I should say, which if we go back and look, this was our previous rejection point back in March of this year when Bitcoin made its last all-time high. It is a little bit behind the curve on Bitcoin's run in comparison to its run. Bitcoin has made a new all-time high. Ethereum has not made Ethereum, I'm sorry, I just read Retro Mike text comment. Ethereum has not made a new all-time high, but what are your thoughts, man? Is Ethereum into Bitcoin, the Bitcoin to Ethereum pair, is it about to flip with Ethereum getting its catch up as Bitcoin consolidates? Or what do you think is going to happen with Ethereum? Let's jump over to your chart and let's take a look at that.
Absolutely. Well, I was looking at the reference that we talked about yesterday. I don't think that there's going to be a flip per se, but we do have a little bit of great movement, and I'm expecting that. Remember that we've been talking about Ethereum from all the way down here, and throughout a couple of days, I believe that we started talking about this 1 or 2 days ago. I don't quite remember. I was saying, well, it is making exactly the same thing exactly as Bitcoin, but you are completely right. I mean, Bitcoin has already taken its all-time highs. I think Ethereum is not. Well, I'm sure Ethereum is not yet. I don't think that we're gonna be seeing a Bitcoin Ethereum flip at all. But what I do see is Ethereum base waking up. I think it's gonna be the first altcoin to start pushing for a lesser Bitcoin dominance. I don't think that we're there yet. I think that we still need to see Bitcoin keep pumping up and Ethereum having a retracement somewhere around this area right down here, which is going to be somewhere around 3,580, and then make a very big move to break with strength this previous area of resistance. Look at that. I did not have that on my chart, but look at that beautiful support resistance. Shout out to Chart Prime right there. So it seems like, that's exactly what we're waiting. Yeah. So big body candle crossing over the trend line, over the resistance. And that will, for me, indicate that then we are into Ethereum bull run for sure and for the strong movement. And man, I think we're not going to stop once we have that. Something like that. Am I aiming for 6,000? Maybe. I don't know. It kind of reminds me of Bitcoin a couple of cycles ago.
Yeah, it definitely has some of that. But what I'm watching here is one of the new features that we have here on our. And let me move this down to a lower section so you can see it, because I do have a little clip off there on the top of this. But we have a new feature in the Market Oracle Pro Plus with the update that we just got, and so it has multi-time frame, prophecy, quantum, and dynamic reactors turned on here. And I'm going to put this on the middle right just so you guys can see this. This is what I'm watching on Ethereum right now, is just this screener. It has this level when it moves down there. There we go. It has this level here where you can look at the multi-time frame prophecy indicators, the quantum reactor, and the dynamic reactor. Everything is green all the way up to the 4-hour on all three of them. On the daily, the multi-time frame prophecy is green. The multi-time frame dynamic is green. The only thing that's grayed out right now, and it's gray, it's not red, which means that it has broken the quantum reactor line, but it's not picking up a sell-off, so it's not bearish. It's just, hey, we're below the quantum reactor on the daily, but it is nothing to be concerned about yet, so it stays grayed out. It says just hold off, just pause, don't worry about a dump or anything like that. And it's gray. It's the only thing. Quantum reactor is grayed out on the daily. So looking at the multi-time frame screener, as long as this 5 minute, 15 minute, because that 5 minutes obviously going to give me that first warning, right? Hey, something's going on. When I see it transfer over to the 15 minute and then to the 1 hour, now I've got a time frame buildup where I can literally watch these go from green to green to gray and then to red on each time frame here across the board, and then I can know, okay, yeah, now we should probably have some concern. We're getting red on the 5 minute, red on the 15. So until this starts to give me indication of that on the lower time frames, building up to the higher time frames, I've got a top down view off of one screener here without changing my time frames at all. And right now, Ethereum is looking pretty strong. I do think that we are going to continue up to the 0.66 here. That's going to be a $4,000 Ethereum, which at that point you will see that ETH to Bitcoin start to flip here. Let me go ahead and pull that up real fast, and let's just take a look at that, because right now it is pulling down, but if you can see, we did get a nice bounce here in the 3D trend again, and it is looking like this is going to be a level to hold. Is going to be the 3D trend and move to the upside again. So as Bitcoin starts to find its level of consolidation, which may be between this $104,000 to the $100,000 range, we'll likely see the alts come back and continue their alt run. We kind of had a little mini alt. It's like I live in Mexico right now. My AC kicked off and everything, but we're back and we're good, so don't worry about that. We're good to go. It was a quick surge and we came right back in. Today's power brought to you by El Paso, Texas, on the border of Mexico, on a new Mexico grid. So technically, I do have a Mexico power surge there. But OC, what are you watching on your side with the altcoins besides Ethereum right now? Because there's a lot of them that are doing pretty good. Yep, you're back. Bad connection. We're good. We're good. We're back in. I can see it all now. What else are you watching? Someone asked about Render. Do you want to check out Render?
Sure. I want to touch very first on Bitcoin dominance, because I'm seeing something that I don't like.
Okay.
And it's also something that I don't like, because this was one of my predictions to start looking at altcoin season, which usually means the end of Bitcoin move up or Bitcoin run. I don't know if just me, but I want to refuse that Bitcoin it's over yet. You can see that reflected at the very beginning of the video when I explained about how far are we from my possible movements for January, right? But I still need to set my feet on the ground, right? This might be just because of the market capitulation that we have, but usually we're talking about percentages. So if we talk about percentages and we see this big as a percentage, usually the percentage is already includes, because it's a percentage, right? The market cap growth in here, not the dilution though, right? That's a different topic to touch on. This also might be effect of dilution, but what I'm seeing here, let me just go straight to the point, too much mumbling here. It is a big movement to the downside here, crossing over the reactors here, and then a V-shaped recovery. I like to see, this is what I like to see, a big recovery factor in here, especially coming from the ETF. Why? I still want to have that bull run on Bitcoin. But if I still see this coming down, rejecting from the reactors, and the price of Bitcoin keep going up, this is telling me that we're at the end of the bull market, or we're running out of gas, and now we're going to be migrating from Bitcoin to altcoins, and we could be seeing either the blow off top very close, or the previous range, or the dead cat bounce that we see on the previous cycle. So just a little warning here on the daily. I'm not liking what I'm seeing here. Still, it's not alarming for me. But yeah, that's what I got. You were mentioning, Piper, that if I want to take a look at, what was it, TRX?
Render.
Render, perfect. Let's take a look at Render. There we go. Perfect. So Render. Oh, nice. All right. This is, the bull run was nice, right? The retracement is not. Let's take a look at the 4 hours, because it seems like we do have an ongoing analysis right there. All right, look at that. Looks like it played out as we were expecting. And now let's just get rid of this. We were into a ranging here. And remember, with all of the ranges, you buy low, you sell high, you hold 50% of your position, rinse and repeat. So wherever it breaks, you're already into a position. You hedge it, you get stopped out on one, and then you keep collecting it. At this point, let me just get rid of this. It's not about the breakout, it's about the retest, and off we go, as long as we have that continuation of the bull cycle. In this case, I'm going to be pulling out two tools in here. First, my Prime Oscillator Pro, and secondary RSI priming here. Why? Because I want to see what's happening here, right? And despite I have the same movement reflected here, I do still have some other candles here pushing up into the green. So I think we still have that motion to be waiting on us like this one. So I do still believe that we're going to do something like that based on the previous cycle or cycles that we can have. Maybe let's just grab this one that is a little bit less confident. Let's take this one like this. All right, perfect. And that is telling me that we could be still going for a retracement, because look at that. We already are on a retracement, but we are not even touching the 0 line. We're still on the green clouding here, which means that we could be making a goose head. So possible entries right here, and then off we go as we have the continuation for that goose head. How that goose head is going to be looking like, something like this. So I believe that could be a good entry somewhere around 960. In this case, I would go to the 15 minutes here. Let me also clean this up for a little bit. Let me just get rid of this one. Perfect. And also throw in here my support and resistances, or even my VPVR. Supports are all the way down here, so somewhere in the middle will be good to aim for. Let's go for VPVR, smart entry areas, smart money entry areas. I'm looking again somewhere around here.
Hey, OC.
There. So let me adjust. Yep.
Real fast, guys, let me know in the chat if my audio is still strong and if his is weak, because he may just have to drop back in. Let me know if my audio is loud and his is weak, or if it's both of us in the chat. Let's give it a second here. He says that you're cutting in and out. Yeah, OC, real fast, drop out and come back in. I'm going to go ahead and talk about a chart real fast, and then you can continue on. It's the same. Oh, it's the same, he says. Well, guys, that may be it then, because that power outage may have done something with Wavelink on the connection here. So you can. Oh, BC says he can hear you fine. Okay, well, go ahead and run with it, OC. I'm going to talk about a chart in a minute. So can you also look at what Bitcoin dominance looked like in January of 2021? When you get done with what you're talking about, and then I want to talk about that and why it matters. So.
Perfect. All right, so just to wrap things up, we have reactors coming in strong. We also have a breakout of the trend line. We have smart money entries. We have our own trend line here for the channel. So I think a good area to start looking for, look at that, we almost are right there with the flip of the ribbon. I think that a good area to start looking for entries, it's going to be somewhere between right now 9.69 and also 9.48. Be careful. Be careful, because at this point, we are having a big retracement, lower highs, right? And yes, I know we're having sort of a triangle, but I just don't trust it. Don't trust it at this point. Why still need to wait for confirmation? Stop loss, guys. Stop loss, please. All right. So jumping into dominance, right? That's you asked me to take a look at dominance.
Yeah. What did Bitcoin dominance do versus ETH? You were talking about, you had an issue with dominance, where it was pulling back. I want to know what happened with that dominance in January 2021 in comparison to now. Did we have a big dump off in 2021 in January?
January 2021, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, look at that dump.
Okay,
but we first moved into the range here. So this is what sorry to cut you off. This is what I'm afraid of. This one that leads into a range. Yep, you were saying?
Okay, so that would be okay to see it pulling back the way it is, because that pullback that happened in January, similar to what we're seeing right now on it, right? If we take a look at Bitcoin performance monthly, real fast before we wrap this up on the show today, guys. Look at 2024. Right now, November, we had a 47% move in Bitcoin, right? December, Up so far 6.1%. I told you we should be green when we were negative yesterday and the day before. So we should be green in December, because going back and looking at this point of the cycle, that would be 2020. We had 59% in November, 19.4% in December, and then we continued on with January, February, March, all being the first quarter massive run-ups, right? 78% in January 2021, which would be January 2025's equivalent where we are in the cycle. If we go over and we look at Ethereum, and you had that dominance that was dumping back then on Bitcoin dominance, right? If we have the same thing happen, let's take a look at Ethereum here and see how this looks. Ethereum in 2020 had a 59.4% move, a 19.4% move, and then a 78.5% move in January. Ethereum absolutely rocked hard on the monthly returns for the first quarter of the last year of the bull cycle. So, and that was at the same time that Bitcoin dominance was pulling back. So getting that pullback on Bitcoin dominance, well, yes, it does mean that Bitcoin might be slowing down on how fast it pumps, but it also can mean that a lot of that money is just going back over into alts. And we already seen a little start off to an alt season, so maybe a continuation of the alt season brings that dominance down, similar to what we saw in January, where the alts did really, really well. So I don't just wanted to point that out, that, yeah, keep an eye on the dominance, but also keep an eye on what has happened historically in that first quarter of the year with altcoins. We could see a really, really big altcoin rally start to happen when people, especially as people come in, mentality, psychology here, right? Oh my God, Bitcoin's pumping. It's all over the headlines. Mainstream media is talking about it. I need to get some Bitcoin. Oh my God, this thing's $106,000 a token. I can't afford that. They don't get the mentality that they can buy fractional pieces. You can buy Satoshis, right? And so they start looking at what else is, have they heard of that's cheaper. And so things like Sui, Solana, BNB, these tokens that are, Cardano, that people have heard of, that's where the money flows into, which pulls down that Bitcoin dominance as alts are starting to get an absolute moonshot. So very, very possible thing that could occur there. I just wanted to point that out to everyone so that they had an idea of what was going on with that.
Absolutely. And something that I want to pitch in here is you would not believe how many people I've known. This is completely okay if you're starting. This is okay, but also you'll need to hear this. How many people I know that their first holding was Dogecoin or Dogecoin at the beginning, or Pepe at the cycle, or some of those meme coins where they went almost all in with holdings, thinking that that was going to be it because of Elon Musk, or because of that influencer, or because of that movement, right? Thanks God, I mean, many of those users that I have come across already have migrated many or most of their initial influx into Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other more stable assets than meme coins. I mean, of course, it can make you rich, but also if you do not have the stomach to hold it, it might also get you poor. So, yeah, just throwing that out there in case you find yourself jumping with all of your capital in meme coins. Think it twice.
Anthony Soprano said, please never do a thumbnail like that ever again. Well, I won't have to. We're already going to break $100,000 Bitcoin once. So, well, I guess we could break it multiple times, but we've broken it for the first time once. I guess the next time that I do a thumbnail like that, Anthony Soprano, will be when Bitcoin breaks $250,000 a token. So there you go. You've been pre-warned. If we break $250,000 Bitcoin, you're going to get another thumbnail like that. Until then, no more thumbnails like that. Guys, that's all we got time for today. We're about to go over and raid Randy Hipper's house, go see our frat mom, and drop those graduation caps in the chat there. But guys, if you guys got any value out of today's show, please smash that like button. It helps out the algorithm here. We are trying to grow as fast and as hard as Bitcoin is. So please smash that like button. And if you think that anybody else that you know could get some value out of it, share it with a friend. Sharing is caring. OC, thanks for joining me today, bro. I appreciate you. And I will see you tomorrow morning again, right back here at 9:30 a.m. Guys, don't forget, tune in to Crypto TA. Jesus, my own show, Trade Academy with TI, Trade Intuition, at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Check out tonight, Crypto Nightcap with FD White and TradeFly, and then Markets After Dark with Lunar Beaches. Tomorrow, we started all over again with Good Morning Crypto, BC Port Corp, right here on the pre-market show, and then we'll be back at 9:30. Until then, trade safe, and as always, use a stop loss. Catch you guys later. Bye.